Welcome back to the Optional Boss Podcast. This is episode 63, and we are going to relieve some of our frustrations about gaming today, and I'm sure that if you are a gamer like us, you can definitely relate to some of these things that we're going to mention. So why don't you come along, listen on this journey of things to vent about. Tyler, what's happening?
Top 10 things to hate about being a gamer.
That.
Not much. I've been quite limited in my time to game, unsurprisingly. So I believe when we last spoke, I mentioned that I was playing through Cyber Shadow and also playing a fair bit of Mario Kart, and that is what I have still been doing. But I'm pretty close to finishing Cyber Shadow. It's cool. It's a good retro throwback style game. Yacht Club does fine work with the stuff they put out.
They just published it.
Yeah, but they put it out into the world.
Yes.
I'll give them the credit. But yes, it was a different dev that I do not recall the name of. But yeah, Cyber Shadow's sick. But Mario Kart is really blowing my mind with how much I just feel like playing it. I don't know. It's weird.
Cyber Shadow was made by Mechanical Head.
Ah, yes, that's right. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's the fact that it's like they made a Mario Kart game a Mario game, and it's just a platformer now, but with racing. And also I will give most of my attention to their new Knockout Tour mode, which is like instead of doing the 3-lap structure or whatever, you're just straight one long stretch, and racers get eliminated like ever so far. It's like, you have to be above 16th place. It's very battle royale, and I don't know what it is about it, but it makes it a lot more exciting.
Fair?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a bit of a controversial take, but I will always say that like Diddy Kong Racing did a single player Mario Kart better than Mario Kart did.
See, I've not actually put time into Diddy Kong Racing. I would like to.
Hopefully it comes to the N64 online. Because I do kind of want to dive back into it.
I would say it's surprising that it's not, but at the same time, I still know, like, if they don't even have, like, DK64 on there. Like, there's still all that whole rare stuff's a little tricky to deal with, so I get that. I've heard that the open world's been compared to Diddy Kong Racing, but I can't really speak to myself. But yeah, the racing is solid. It's just straight up fun, and that's pretty cool. However, I did actually, you know what? I will save this for a little bit on. But how about yourself? I'm sure you've been playing a little bit more than I have.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of time. I dove into, I think previously, I forget which one I was on, but I did 4 Castlevania games back to back. And that was Aria of Sorrow, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia. I have completed all those with the true endings on each. They are a good time. I have some qualms with a couple of them.
They have their ups and downs, that's for certain. I want to say, when we last recorded, you just finished Dawn of Sorrow, perhaps?
Maybe. Or I was in Portrait of Ruin, maybe?
Something like that, because I recall we discussed the whole, how they changed up the touchscreen gimmicks with just the input commands. So
right. Yes, I do recall this, yeah.
But yes, the handheld Castlevanias are fantastic in,
They are the best ones by far, in my opinion. I do like the original quite a bit still, as difficult as it is. Honestly, and this is going to be a bit of a controversial take. I think my least favorite is probably Castlevania 4 for Super Nintendo.
You know what's weird? Because I've played 1, I've played 3, I need to dabble more into 2, and I have started and given up on 4 so many times, and it's not even because it's super hard. It's just...
No, it's actually really easy.
It feels slow. And I think that's what bothers me the most about it. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. I'm just saying it's just I don't know.
So to kind of add on to that, what I've noticed, and I found this with Mega Man 7, is anything that you are using big sprites on seems to feel slower.
Honestly,
And Castlevania 4 had that, and Mega Man 7 had that.
I can vouch for
Both,
that a lot. 7, it
both great games. It's just they feel slow, and I think it's because of the amount of space that you take up. It feels like you should be moving faster.
But you know it's weird? Well, okay, there's mechanical reasons why. But X, even without his dash, it does feel like a faster game. So that makes Mega Man 7
and it's a smaller, right?
Feels even more.
And in
jarring.
soccer, he runs.
Soccer's a strange breed. But of the handheld Castlevanias, which one, top to bottom, what do you think?
Ooh. So there's still one that I haven't played. Where I started, and I just couldn't get into it.
Is Harmony of Dissonance?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I don't know what it is about it. I don't know.
It's because it's weird looking. It's just so bright, colorful.
Maybe.
And if I'm not mistaken, the soundtrack is probably one of the weakest of the 6.
So, I'm trying to take out nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because nostalgia says Circle of the Moon and Aria of Sorrow.
Yeah, which is fair.
As for... Okay, so let's do this. Circle of the Moon, Aria of Sorrow for Game Boy Advance. Out of the DS ones, I'm going to go with, surprisingly, as long as you aren't playing it on the DS, Dawn of Sorrow first, Order of Ecclesia, and then Portrait of Ruin.
You know what? I feel like you can put them in any order, and you really can't lose. I feel like Portrait of Ruin it's good, but it's the most safe of them.
It was fine. I didn't like the 2-character mechanic. It did a very Symphony of the Night thing where kind of like the last area, you had to run back through all the different zones, but you're just going into a portrait.
Just a couple color swap deserts and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially the exact same zones, just the harder enemies in it.
Yep.
For the when you go into the final. The Belmont fight was okay. You could break it like no other.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, okay, then you realize you just have to jump over him, he'll whip, you'll get a whip where you were, hit him, repeat.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep. That's the man who kills Dracula.
Story-wise, I didn't really care about Portrait of Ruin. 2 characters I didn't care for, and the maps I didn't really care for either.
So, I'll give you an interesting bit of trivia. And I know, like, Castlevania lore is, like, it's okay, but it's not, like, anything groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But, Portrait of Ruin is technically the sequel to the one on Genesis, which I cannot recall the name of.
Bloodlines.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. It's kind of like
that's why you fight Richter, right? So
yeah, I think the main character is his son or something like that.
He's part of the Morrison family.
Yeah, it's
something
okay.
like that. Yeah. It was my least favorite.
I think Dawn of Sorrow, because Aria of Sorrow is great.
Yes.
Dawn of Sorrow, I think, is weaker than Aria, but it is also, if that one was your favorite, it's just more of that.
Oh, it's definitely weaker. But at the same time, it's still a decent
great.
time.
Oh yeah.
Except, like I said before, I didn't play it on DS because I couldn't care about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with the magic symbols. And then now that I played it on Switch on the Dominus collection, so much better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad I played through them. I've since moved on to Lunar 2 because I had to check it out. I really liked Lunar 1. And the biggest differences I can say is Lunar 1 is easy, it's pretty simple. But it's just a feel-good story, kind of like in the sense that Chrono Trigger kind of gave you. Like, you really enjoy the characters and whatnot. And being a working designs work of art, translation, whatever, they had their name on it. They didn't muck up a lot of the script. Where Lunar 2, they really played around with jokes for, I think you said it off air, is jokes for joke's sake.
Yep.
And I think that was after I sent you a screenshot of one of the characters being like, I have a funny feeling, and this time it's not in my no-no place. And it's like...
Yep. Completely out of context,
okay.
we're just going to say something that we think is funny at the time. So, I'll bring up a bit of interesting history about why it is like that way, because I know you're not really someone who ever enjoyed watching anime or never really got into it. I am loosely, but what it falls under the category is a lot of anime that came to the West in like the early 90s and stuff, because over here we're like, they're cartoons, they must be for kids. So we had to come up with our own scripts and stuff entirely. And it's like, well, kids like jokes, so we cram jokes in. And that was pretty much the mindset for like a lot of the working designs translations, when I'm pretty sure a lot of the stories in these games are supposed to be pretty dark and serious.
Yes. So like Lunar 2, I'm guessing I'm over halfway through now. And it, by the sounds of it, it's almost a MacGuffin hunt.
Okay.
But I got the equivalent of an airship in Final Fantasy. We'll say that.
Yeah, but that's always like one of the most exciting moments in classic RPGs.
Yes. But like story-wise, it feels like things are actually happening, where like the first half was just like, okay, we got to run away from these guys. Because the story starts by this person coming down, like the whole thing with the lunar universe is there's two planets, the blue star and the, I'm guessing, silver star. What we would consider Earth. And so this being comes from the blue star, and the goddess has sent out her guards to destroy Lucia, who's the thing that came from the blue star. So you're just constantly running away from essentially God's army.
That is intimidating.
Because Lucia, the thing from the blue star, wants to go see God in order to save the world. But then there's nefarious things going on.
So it's kind of... It starts off pretty loose, and I would imagine now that you're halfway through it, it has a much more straightforward narrative where, like, this is the goal, this is what we're after. It's not just, we need to not die.
Well, the whole thing is you got to guide this thing that came from the blue star to God, and you do that and find out that God is not God or goddess.
So compared to the first one, which you really enjoyed, how would you say this one's holding for you? Minus
Lunar
the cringe
2,
script.
Lunar 2 is a better game.
Yeah.
Lunar 1 is a better feel-good story.
Like a better experience, you'd say?
Yes.
Yeah.
So far.
Okay. I still want to check them out at some point. You've given them high enough praise.
Absolutely. They are a fantastic time. And anyone who has like that pixel, like the pixel art is wonderful. The cutscenes are great. And yeah, they're just good.
Give more love to classic RPGs.
Yes.
Outside of Final Fantasy.
Yes. You do need to play 1 to get the full effect of 2, though. Even though that is 1,000 years in the future.
It's one of those direct sequels, but is.
Well, like I've been visiting towns that I visited in the first place.
Oh, that's always so satisfying.
And like the aftermath, like so there's something drastic that happened in Lunar 1. Without spoiling anything, like there's a whole city in the sky, and it falls because you essentially take all its magical power to do something. And it's still in the ground now.
That's cool. I like that.
So, but you're visiting, and yeah. So it's still standing 1,000 years later.
I don't know what it is, but like even when it happens in the same game, like if you have like a starting area, but then like that's your tutorial, and then you get moved into like the actual game, which is nowhere near it, but you can later go to that area. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like the game makes me nostalgic for itself the first time I play it.
Like Nibelheim, Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, not dissimilar to Nibelheim. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think's going to happen after Lunar 2?
Oh God, I have not thought that far ahead.
Yeah, just too many games.
I don't know if I want to dive into Suikoden 2 or not. I was very cautious about going into Suikoden 1. I had no idea what to expect because I know nothing of the story and all that before I played it. But just knowing that there's like 100 and some odd characters to collect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've notoriously said I hate having multiple characters, having to deal with like equipment loads and whatnot. Like that was my only kind of gripe with Final Fantasy VI. As much as I enjoyed the game, I hate having like, because there's always characters that I leave behind, and you know what? I had that with Chrono Trigger. Right? There's always characters I left behind because you can only have three party members, and it's great that you can switch them out and everything. But then, yeah, I just I don't know.
It's your build.
It's why I like Earthbound so much, because it is your party. It is your party that is going on. You aren't just abandoning party members.
See, that's why I think you'll enjoy Final Fantasy IV, because it takes that away from you.
Yes.
So.
And Mother 3.
Yeah.
Lunar 1 and 2 are pretty good for that as well, because you don't have multiple. You do have multiple characters, but you aren't swapping in and out. You'll have characters go on their own thing and come back and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, Lunar 2 has 2 AI characters that you have no control over.
Yeah, your party is dictated by the plot.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it when that
So
happens.
it makes sense. It's not just, okay, you are not here because camp reasons.
It also means anyone could die.
Yes.
At least in many of these options.
But something else in Lunar 2 that pertains to the main subject, so I'll say it here in a minute, right after this. So yeah, venting about games, and one thing I'm going to vent about is, because I'm playing Lunar 2, is the joke for joke's sake. We mentioned it earlier in Lunar 2, but there's a lot of games that do this like really stupid scripting, and it's even worse when it's voice acted too, because it just feels so cheesy and fake. But just like I said, the one script, oh, I feel funny, and not this time, not in my no-no place. And it's like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. You're stupid. You're annoying. I want to like this character too.
You know what, though? I can at least find some small charm in it, just because it's one of those things where it's almost like a time capsule. It's a cringy-ass time capsule of what was commonplace.
Okay, but at the same time, like, this is the entire script, not just like isolated moments.
Oh no, situation like that, it is harming the experience actively.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. I don't know. Unless it's like kind of the point. Yeah, when there's a whole bunch of unnecessary, just like I said, jokes for joke's sake. Bubsy.
Yep.
You know, it's weird. Like I'm sure, and I know there's a lot of hype about like the Gex trilogy right now and all that stuff. But I feel like his quippy nature would get on my nerves so quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Although, like, that is part of the gimmick behind it.
Yeah.
It's not a you're saving the world and talking about your no-no place.
You know what's really bad for humor for the sake of humor? Now, okay, I'll admit it does it well sometimes, or at least in the experiences that I've played, but also I know it goes overboard, and just looking at the series outside looking in, it looks like the joke has become the point now, which is bizarre to me given where it started, but Borderlands.
Oh, fuck me.
Like, Borderlands has become what, like, people complain about, like, the MCU, how it's like, oh, they're just comedies now with action. Like, oh, man, Borderlands is just complete, it's in on its own joke that it doesn't want to tell you.
Well, look at Borderlands 1, where they had, like, you could tell it was, like, a quirky Mad Max type situation, right? Like, you had a bunch of things. Yes, and it was you know, it was quirky in the same sense that like an Earthbound would be quirky, right? Like you're having these really good one-offs and whatnot, and that's just the characters of it. Then Borderlands 2 comes around, and yes, I enjoyed my time with Borderlands 2, but they did it just for joke's sake. They're like, people liked it in the last one, let's overdo it now.
It was very much a victim of, and I hate that this combination of words is going to come out of my mouth, but the lol so random error of comedy.
Yes, the
Yeah.
the Icon has cheeseburger era.
Yeah, and it's funny because, when you do look at Borderlands 1, yeah, like you said, it was quirky. You had, like, some stuff that was hilariously over the top, like, Dr. Zed being, like, this heavily implied, just like a doctor who just basically kills everyone, right? Like, almost like the Zoidberg joke.
Yes.
Stuff like that. Like, they were caricatures, and it was amusing. But then you've got Borderlands 2, which is just like, you know what? I'm going to get this jewel-encrusted pony and name him Butt Stallion. Or
yes.
I think that was the thing that happened.
That was actually a thing that happened.
Yeah, and I know they follow up on the joke, but still.
Oh, yeah. And I think part of it is, like, when they did in number 1, they're like, they were doing it tastefully, in a sense. They were being reserved with it. Where number 2, they just, people really enjoyed that, so let's turn it up to 11. And yeah, that was it. That there was no rhyme or reason for half of it.
I think the difference between it
I did like Marcus.
Yeah. But I think the big difference between it is in the first one, they were trying to sell you, like you said, the Mad Max kind of approach, where, like, these people are nuts. Therefore, like, they're just classic cartoony psychopaths. But
absolutely,
it fits the vibe, as where once you get to 2 and beyond, everyone's a comedian.
Yes. And they have to be quirky, and Claptrap has to be annoying, and
yeah.
Like, Claptrap, I didn't find that annoying in number 1. It's just, there's that freaking robot again. Okay, let's do something. Where in number 2, it's like, hey, I know I'm annoying. Let's be more annoying.
Yeah, and
it's like you're doing it to really play and lay it on thick.
And
it's not organic. It's annoying and it's stupid. Randy Pitchford, fucking stop.
If we wanna also go from the unnecessary comedy boat, but still staying on Borderlands, how about that deluxe edition price?
Holy shit!
What was that, like $180?
$180, and you know what? I don't even know what you got in it, because so this was the listing on GameStop's website, or for us, EB Games again, whatever you want to call it, the game store, but not the game store from UK. Damn it!
See, I like that I was calling it EB this whole time, and now it's EB again, so I'm just right.
Yes. You're wrong for a bit, but now you're actually right.
We could throw them into this discussion if we're venting, but we'll stick with the expensive game for now.
For now, yeah. It was like $180, and I don't even know what the fuck you got in it. But it was
But was it
annoyingly
not like
stupid?
It's not like a collector's edition, because I know collector's editions can become absurdly expensive. And
absolutely.
If I remember, I'll get to you next collector's edition.
Yes.
But wasn't it just like, it's like not like the digital deluxe version, but essentially that, where it's like the game with all that content that we took out of the game and made you pay for?
Yes.
Like,
and that's what most of these digital deluxe versions are, is just you're getting the super deluxe version. $172.99.
So on that note, do you think that gaming is getting too expensive?
Yes and no. So no, because it's really
the world's become expensive.
The world's become expensive, sure. And games have become more expensive to develop. Now, with that said, and this is something I have said for years, whether it's on air, off air, to friends, or just in my head, stop going for graphic fidelity. All these companies have lost all their originality. If you look at pretty much any kind of IP that was popular back in the day, that retro games that people still go back to, like the Ninja Gaidens. We got a new 2D Ninja Gaiden that I'm more excited about than the new Ninja Gaiden 4, whatever's coming out. Ninja Gaiden was 2D, pixel art, and this looks great. Not just because it's from the Blasphemous guys. Zelda. You know what? I'm going to bring that. My favorite is still A Link to the Past. And you know what? I tried Tears of the Kingdom because I got the Switch 2, and it's like, okay, now it's a good time to dive into it. No, I played it for 3 hours and I got bored. Breath of the Wild, same thing. And I mean, I know that's a bit controversial because I know people love these games, but at the same time, they're big open spaces, and a lot of games have like this checklist now instead of originality. They do not have passion because they are run by corporations, and it is the most asinine thing ever, and it pisses me the fuck off. It microtransactions, cosmetics behind things. Cosmetics used to be things that you earned in game and unlocked, like playing 007 GoldenEye on N64. You were trying to do challenge runs for yourself so you could unlock big head mode.
I think Josh thinks the gaming's too expensive now.
It's not that gaming is too expensive. It's just they lock all this bullshit away now. It's behind like paywalls. We got DLCs. Yes, we had expansion packs back in the day, but now it's you just pay for shit.
I think it's funny that I feel like the structure for
not even getting on live service games.
Oh no, that's a whole different can of worms. But like, video game pricing is such a bonkers thing these days, because if you were to go back to like the Super Nintendo to the Game Boy Advance, even if
prices were all over the place.
They were all over the place, yes. But I think they were more sensible as to why they were more all over the place. Like, so for example, you had a lot of the, like, you know, cheaper licensed games for Super Nintendo. I don't know exact prices, but I think they'd be like, you know, $40, you know?
Yep.
It's brand new. Some of your, like, more higher class stuff, like Mario and just Nintendo IPs, they might be upwards of, like, what, $50, $60?
About 60, yeah.
And
Earthbound was 80 when it came out. And yes, it has player's guide and stuff, but still.
But then you also have rare exceptions like, you know, the Mega Man X2 and 3, because they had extra hardware. I think also Star Fox might have been more expensive too. But it, you know, it made sense. They actually put more into this product. And that's why it's more expensive. To your average consumer, that makes no sense. But there is logic behind it. As where nowadays, first of all, the fact that physical and digital can cost the same, up until recently when they realized, you know what, physical is a more tangible product. Let's charge more instead of just charging less for digital. Blows my mind. But
just to kind of solidify what you were just saying, I pulled up a Toys R Us ad during the Nintendo 64 era. And so, based on the Nintendo 64 games, we got Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64 at $60. But we have Wave Race at $65, or Star Wars Battlefront at $69. Doom 64 at $75. Turok at $75. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, it's like one of the most notoriously bad hockey games, was $75.
Wow. You know, it makes sense why I don't really have a good grasp of pricing structure for video games from when I was a kid. Because one, I was a kid. And two, I don't think I really got many brand new in-box games as much as it was like, you know, we went to old, like, basically, things like your secondhand gaming stores and whatnot.
Yeah.
Back when they were more prevalent and not as, you know, it's hard to say expensive because, yeah, these things fluctuate. But all the same, I guess gaming pricing has always been just a little messed up.
It absolutely has been. And realistically, like, not much has changed in the sense of their prices. So I understand where these companies are coming from increasing prices lately. But at the same time, fuck Randy Pitchford.
He got a little greedy with that one. But another thing as well, and it's a mixed opinion to have, because DLC, yeah, it should cost money. You're getting more product. But we just also live in an era where you buy a game and you're not done buying the game.
Yes.
But like, flip side of that,
DLCs,
I remember,
depending what it is.
Well,
because there's just cosmetic DLCs.
But DLC has existed since the days of old PC games with expansion packs. We just call them expansion different. Packs. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They used to come on a disc.
Expansion packs are such a cool concept. I'm so sad they don't exist anymore.
Like, look at Diablo 1. They had the Hellfire DLC, or expansion pack.
I remember seeing, like, you know, the old big box expansion packs, and it's just like, it's so funny to think that DLC used to come. in a physical form.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you need
absolutely.
the game already, and I'm sure that was a baffling concept to people back in the day.
Well, I mean, you used to require the disc to play, right?
But
We didn't have Steam.
Speaking of DLC, so last night, well, not so much last night, yesterday, before I left for work, I thought, okay, weekend's coming up. I'm gonna finally buy the Lies of P DLC.
Okay.
And it'll be ready for me when I come home. And I come home. And I check the notifications on my PlayStation. And it doesn't say anything about anything being downloaded and completed. Because my fucking console was full.
Oh no.
Oh my god. And yes, this is like, minor inconvenience. Yeah, whatever. Just download, play it at another time. It takes a couple hours. But, just... Why do I hate the digital future. I hate it so much. Physical games physical games are always going to be the way to go in my mind, and they are kind of making it very difficult to be a physical collector moving forward. Oh my god.
And you know what? It's gaming communities. And I'm saying that just strictly as someone who needs to just stop looking at these communities on Facebook, because my god, it's like looking in a dumpster.
Well, it's funny.
People who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because people saying, okay, you need to download stuff for your PS5 games. None of them are on disc. And it's like, well, no. Final Fantasy Rebirth, you don't have to download anything. You can play it off the disc. You have to install it from a disc. Sure. And these are the two different things that people don't seem to understand. Downloading requires an online service. Installing is putting it onto the SSD from the disk for the purposes of streamlining and loading.
No, it's a perfectly understandable process if you use a PC anyway. Like, it makes perfect sense. Is it
you don't
frustrating?
even use a PC and you understand.
Well, I've had my days. But yeah,
Fair.
It makes perfect sense. You install it onto the console and then it runs it properly. It basically just uses the disk as a confirmation.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense. But I also hate the fact that my PS5 physical collection, I have to still manage my storage when I play a game.
Yes.
It's frustrating as all hell.
My biggest thing, and I know there's people out there that would be like, oh, it's not going to be that big of a deal. If these servers ever go offline and I can't install those updates, say 30 years from now, but I'm looking for, at that moment, like when a PS5 is retro.
Or, for example, you require those updates for the games to function.
Yes, like your day one patches.
Yeah.
Game will still run. It's going to have some bugs.
You'll still have it. I don't know if you'll like it anymore, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't care for it much. I do appreciate the convenience, but doesn't mean I like to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
On that note, and physical games and running off cartridges and whatnot, this is pertaining to Switch 2. The game keycards is an abomination of... Okay, I guess it's not as an abomination as a code in a box.
No, but it's the next closest thing. Like, so
Yes,
the game keycard... It's like your middle ground between a code in a box and having to install the game, because you do actually have to download it, and that is the frustrating thing. The fact that you have it, it's a temporary USB stick, and that is very frustrating.
It's like a CD key on a stick.
So,
or on a cartridge rather. And you know what? That's great, because in the era where the Switch didn't have many, but they had their fair share of code in a box. And what code in a box is you attach it to your account, and then you can download it off your account anytime. You would never be able to sell that.
Well, unless someone's really hurting for that Fortnite DLC physical case. That was...
But you're selling your account.
And, yeah, if you actually want to move the game across, there is their weird digital keycard thing. So, because I got the Mario Kart bundle, obviously downloaded Mario Kart with my Switch too, and it's very weird that when I got it, it was like, now you have a digital game key in your library or something like that, like the kind that you can share around and stuff. It's like, it's a cool idea. it
Sure.
it gives you some shareability with a digital game. Doesn't mean I like it. I can share a physical game by going, here you go. PlayStation made the joke years ago.
Yeah. Where they just, here's how you can share a game, and they passed it off to the next person.
Here you go.
That was a jab at Xbox, saying that every CD was going to be encrypted with its own, like, a serial number, in a sense. So it would be registered with that system.
This is your game and yours alone. It's like, that's dumb.
Yeah. So, now, with that said, Nintendo does not stop any publisher from making an actual physical, right? It is the publisher who chooses to do a key card. And I guess reports have come out that Nintendo actually asked these publishers if it was something that they were interested in. And a lot of these publishers said yes. This is, again, going for a greedy approach because they will not be costing that much to make. And anyone who says that, like, flashcards and that kind of thing are expensive for Nintendo to make, get real.
Oh god, no, but it adds up, right?
Peanuts.
If you don't have to spend it, you won't. That just makes perfect sense. What I'm hoping, because
if you can get Cyberpunk and its DLC onto a Nintendo Switch cartridge, the entire game.
So here's
the
thing.
Fuck off! Give me Street Fighter 6 on a cart.
Capcom's pretty bad for cheaping out, which is really
they absolutely are. I specifically did not get the Origins package for Resident Evil because it didn't have both games on cart.
No, I am the same way. Where I got the Mega Man ones. Those I not.
But
at the same time,
did as well.
Like, I tried to convince myself that, even though with the Resident Evil collection, the 4, 5, and 6, like, it's 4 on the cart, and 4 is the one that I think I would want to play / own the most. But just knowing that I'm missing 2 games on top of that someday in the future, that rubs me the wrong way. It's unfortunate that the Mega Man Legacy collections are in the same boat, except for, they finally learned with the Battle Network collection. Those are actually all on the cartridge, which is fantastic.
So, I will give Capcom the benefit of the doubt on this, where they could have easily had a way around this. They didn't. So, what we're talking about is the Mega Man or Resident Evil. And on the Switch cartridges, it would have one game, and then the rest would be downloaded, usually through a code, I believe.
Yep.
The reason for that was at the time of release, Nintendo did not support multiple games on a cartridge. So unless they went out of their way, if they went out of their way to actually make a proper menu, like Lunar does it, Lunar the remasters, it doesn't come up with 2 different games. It comes up with Lunar Remaster. You go into it and you select which game you want to play. They could have done that. There's no reason they couldn't have done that, but they didn't.
No.
And as much as I love Capcom, fuck you, Capcom.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that is nice about this whole game keycard situation is sales have reflected that people do not want these, like, at all.
Yes, but are publishers looking at it as game keycard or as they don't want physicals?
See, that's the concerning part, right?
Because a corporate publisher is not going to look at it the same way as consumers do. We know that from countless years of seeing the games industry be a complete flop and fail upon itself time and time again. And they're going to look at these stats and be like, well, this is a physical, this is a digital. They aren't going to look at it as, well, this is a game keycard physical, this is an actual physical. But they're just going to look at it as that they're probably combining them as one, and they are not going to learn from that.
No. But to bring Cyberpunk back into the discussion, the fact that, because right now, all Switch 2 cartridges are only 64 gigabytes. So hopefully, and this happened with the Switch 1 as well, I don't remember what the original size was, but later down the road, they came up with different size carts, which would give publishers a little bit more incentive to actually give physical games. So hopefully, the Switch 2 does something like that. And I'm also wondering, what's the future of things like limited run and whatnot? Because they've been pretty shady before. They're already selling game key cards, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt right now. because those are just those weird distribution cases that they do. Like, for example, they were selling the collector's edition of Rido Remastered, and I think they're also doing that upcoming Sonic Racing game. So,
Okay, yep. The Crossworlds or whatever.
yeah, and so they are selling them as they do with most of their things in PS5, Xbox, Switch One, and Switch 2. But the Switch 2 ones are just game key cards, but that's also what the retail versions of these games are. So I'm not gonna completely throw the blame on them just yet. It's shitty, but
No, how true is it that they're stuck to 64 gigs?
that seems to be what the case is right now. That's the only size of cartridge they make.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I imagine that they will have some other ones.
Because, like, I've got some Switch games that I know are a couple kilobytes. Like,
yeah. And I mean,
so,
like, for indie devs, come on.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm not going to buy limited run or something game key cards. I just can't justify that. That's why, like, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but I will be dipping my toe more into digital purchases now because it just makes sense, which sucks. But at the same time, yeah, I hope for the sake of stuff like that, because I love those little. Dude, what world outside of us nutjob collectors would I be able to get a physical copy of A Short Hike? I fucking love that game. It's precious.
Absolutely.
I always want to have it. But in a realistic publisher sense, we would never see that as a physical.
Absolutely not. And it sucks to think about that.
But we have it now, and it's great.
Yeah.
I figured that would be one of the more fiery topics of this situation.
You know what, though? Okay, so realistically, how much is a game card to make? Right?
I don't know exactly.
We don't actually know.
I want to say it was $7.
Okay, so do a bit of a markup, add $10 to a price, and have it manufactured with physical.
Well,
for those smaller games, like for those indie games, why can you not do that?
That's what Nintendo's doing.
Yeah,
they're charging like about $10 more for their physicals, which, fuck.
Yeah, it's
what it is.
But like, even for like every other publisher, why? Yeah,
I think the thing that concerns me too with the game key cards right now as well is because we have already had big releases from, the larger companies that could afford to do stuff like this, like Square Enix. They have a game key card right now. Capcom. Everyone who isn't Nintendo, I'm pretty sure, other than Cyberpunk, is a game key card.
Yes.
So
I think there is a few coming that are not.
Oh, there's definitely some down the pipeline. It's gonna be really funny if Nintendo is the most prominent sole physical game company, though.
But it also it's killing the physical market, which the Switch thrived on.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, realistically.
I have a wall of proof.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
There is a good amount of people that have physical collections. And I mean, it's, again, like people who still seek out these old retro cartridges for Super Nintendo or NES or Sega Genesis or Mega Drive and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, they are essentially killing the physical market by letting publishers do this game keycard stuff. And you know what? There's going to be a market for people. Sure. But at the same time, I hate that they have the option. I actually despise kind of Nintendo for giving the option. I still have my Switch 2, still love it, and a lot of my Switch games that didn't run well on Switch 1 now work great. But still, fuck you, Nintendo, for doing that.
So, on the note of the Switch 2, and you know what? Maybe this is a controversial take, maybe not, but I'm just going to put it out there. Y'all gotta stop trying to find reasons to hate on the Switch 2. It's fucking great. Yeah, I'm gonna come across as a huge Nintendo fanboy. Whatever. Clearly I am. But at the same time, I can understand legitimate complaints, and there's going to be. It's a new console, whatever.
Absolutely.
And I understand we live in this world where, internet vitriol is a very powerful tool where people just want to be fueled with rage. It's incredibly engaging. But oh my god, like
Oh, so some of the complaints are just astronomical. It's like, are you fucking kidding?
it's just like Switch 2 owner has broken console after hard session of gaming, and then you find out that hard session of gaming was just them hitting it with a hammer. Like,
Yes.
oh my god, the internet is just, and I know it's full of stupid people. They're
You
not
know
gonna
what?
go
And
away.
this is a problem that goes off into so many different directions because it's the entire world. Like these news headlines are getting it from clickbait headlines.
Yep.
So maybe for people to notice this episode, we need a clickbait title.
I think we should go with a very clickbaity title.
But like that's for anything now. And you know what? People soak it up. There's been so many experiments now that people just read headlines, they don't actually read the article, and half the time people don't want to read these articles anymore. First off, magazines, people actually read the articles. Nowadays, these sites are filled with so much advertising, and I get that it's how they get paid. But nobody wants to be reading a page that keeps scrolling away on you to look at a stupid ad.
So funny enough, okay, I just have my copy of Retro Gamer magazine just beside me, so I'm just gonna quickly flip through it because, like, I think about video game magazine ads and I get so excited.
Oh yeah, because like they were actually targeted to our gamers.
There's a charm to it, right?
Like
Wow,
I
it's
still
amazing.
remember the spotlight on out of all things Gex that
Yeah.
made it seem like James Bond, right? It's or the Lara Croft or any of those. It was gaming oriented at least. Where now we're getting like ads for cars, and I have a vehicle. I don't need an ad for a car. Give me something with some kind of actual creativity behind it if you want me to be interested. Otherwise,
Well,
you're just in my way, in my space, and stop moving my goddamn screen.
that's just it. I'm not trying to look into like the performance of a new game that's coming out or check out some reviews, and at the same time think, you know what? I could use a kind of vitamin water.
Yes. Yes. Oh, what is this review on the Insane Trilogy for Crash Bandicoot? Oh, look, a vroom vroom. No,
Just
fuck off, IGN.
yeah. Yeah, and then you get to the end of it and you just find out, none of that information was worth anything. It blows my mind when I see, because, I'm weak for those, like, top 10 underrated games for such and such console.
Yep.
And then every time I check it, and it's, like, the most cliche list of stuff. But whenever I get one, and there was one that I was going through the other day, and it was, like, 10 modern indie games that are like classics, and I had every single one of them but one. But at the same time, I will say, like, it was pretty far reaching. Like, it was mentioning things like Astalon.
Okay.
So, some
Good.
lesser known.
Good on that.
But, and, obviously stuff like Shovel Knight and Celeste. So,
Yes.
but it's sad that I have to be impressed by someone having a more niche take on things.
But you know what else is annoying? Going back to the community section is people who bait others. There's
a lot of that, yeah.
I get that it's a thing that people do. The whole trolls. Yes, we've always had trolls, but it's so unoriginal now. Like
Yeah.
the other day, it's like, oh, Celeste shouldn't have never been as popular as it was. And it's like, Celeste is great. And if you don't like it, that is your personal taste. Absolutely. You are entitled to that. But to say that everyone else is wrong, shut the fuck up.
7 reasons why Final Fantasy VII isn't as good as you think.
Right? It's... You know what? I bet you if I went on my phone right now, I would find some kind of comment that's going to make me bash my head against the wall.
Yeah. No, it's just nothing but targeting people, which I think it's funny that we have gotten to the point in this episode where we're bitching about people bitching.
Absolutely. It's
catch-22 on that one.
But you know what? There's going to be a lot of people who actually understand exactly where we're coming from, and they are tired too.
Well, and I think also, like,
we're saying what some of these guys want to actually say.
It's a hobby of positivity in my mind. I do it because I enjoy it. I don't do it to become mad at it. And, I play hard games that will make me mad, but that's kind of the fun of it. I'm not looking to defend things or
Right
take people
here.
down for enjoying things.
What did I say? First thing on Nintendo that I found. It's a ad for Donkey Kong. Second comment. You ruined yourself with a lease. It's
Yeah,
like, you guys are fucking morons.
yeah, yeah. The new Donkey Kong looks awesome, though.
It does, and knowing that it's by the Odyssey team, that's exciting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people are going to be mad when they eventually have a direct and there's no Odyssey 2.
Yeah, yeah. We should hopefully be due for one of those sometime
We should
in the
be.
not too distant future. That would be quite nice. You know, it's something that really bothers me in the world of gaming.
I could think of a few more things because I got a few.
Yeah. I can't stand. Oh no, where'd it go? I was
Online
just.
only single player games.
Ooh, ooh, that's right. It was going to
That
be
is
something. I was going to go back to the live service topic. Um, okay, so not quite that, but trend chasing in gaming.
yes.
That is so hard. Like, I always feel bad whenever I see, and I'm actually going to point specifically at the most recent victim of this. What's the
There's
game
a
for
bunch.
PS5 that didn't come out? Like it did, but it didn't.
Oh, Concord.
Yeah. Oh, oh,
Yep.
Concord. Um, so seeing that and immediately thinking to myself, "Oh, this is just trying to be like another like Overwatch, but wait, it's different because of this particular hook that it has." Like, man, this is gonna flop super hard, and it was done within a week. And I
Yeah.
want to say it was like the last state of play, or maybe it was Summer Games Fest. I can't remember which one of the showcases it was, but there were so many that are like, this is just trying to be the next this, and
Yeah.
after this trailer ends, I'm going to forget all about it. You know,
Absolutely.
different strokes for
It's
different folks. I'm
and
not saying they won't be enjoyed by people.
oh yeah, like people enjoyed Concord.
Yeah,
Not a lot, clearly. Not enough to
but
stay profitable. And
but the
it's a
fact
huge
that
risk with live service games. But it's like I said, like a lot of these games have no more creativity in them because they are chasing a checkbox.
yeah,
These
and that's
corporations are demanding these checkboxes where the actual designer behind the games have no creative will.
no. No, it's sad to see that these resources are being used for what is essentially this did well for someone else. It'll surely do well for us. We're going to bet the entire farm on it. I'm sorry, you don't have a job anymore.
Yes.
Oh,
Speaking of like the amount of layoffs in the industry and whatnot, and a lot of these are caused by like corporate uh, I mean greed, yes, but like
they took the
the
gamble and they lost.
not even they don't let the creative freedom actually flow to make something unique. They just focus on graphics half the time, and they just want to be the prettiest. And you know what? Consumers eat that shit up. I hate to say it because I'm down for great graphics. I'm great for a good remaster. I'm great. It's great to actually see. However, if your fantastic realistic graphics are boring to play, it makes it bad. And there's always going to be a minority of people who say it's the best thing ever.
So this is an interesting spin on it because it's not something that I have a problem with. I'm actually kind of interested in it, but I've been recently watching playthrough of Black Myth Wukong, which
Yes.
beautiful game. I mean, it's like one of the first big real showcases for Unreal 5. Like this game looks incredible. It's one of the prettiest water that I've ever seen. However, I am going to much more easily remember the visual style of Visions of Mana because it
Yes.
actually has, it it has its own kind of artistic identity. It's not cliffs and forests that, don't get me wrong, are fucking gorgeous, but they don't have that kind of sticking power. I can see trees, I can see rivers, right? The closer they
Absolutely.
get, the more impressive it is, sure, but it's not sticking with me.
No. And it's a lot of people will look at something like Visions of Mana, as beautiful as it is, and say, "Oh, look, it's a generic game." which okay, admittedly, Visions, yeah, kind of was, but they'll see that kind of art style and just be like, "Oh, it's a garbage game.
I'm
It's not
glad
worth
it
full
exists.
price."
I'm
I'm
so
absolutely
glad it
glad
exists. It was quite mid, but like,
but like
that's sometimes that's exactly what I want out of it. And it's mana. I love mana.
a lot of developers need to be more okay with coming up with like that B tier. We've talked about it
It
ad
was a sales
nauseam,
failure.
right? It was.
Yeah.
I remember, what was it? Titanfall 2, I think, was called a failure because they didn't reach 10 million sales.
Ooh, another one that was like that. Well, I know Final
No,
Fantasy
that was
VII
It was Dead
Rebirth.
Space 3. It was called a failure
Yes.
because it didn't reach 10 million sales,
Uh,
and they killed the series.
I think it was one of the like Tomb Raider reboots.
Yep.
It only cracked like somewhere between 5 to 7 million, and Square was looking at it as a financial failure, and it was like, that's still really good.
Yeah. I mean, Mega Man in its entire lifetime has only sold what? 6 million? Or is it higher?
I want to say they recently got around 9 to 10 million. But when you think about how many because like a lot of the Mega Man games haven't even cracked 1 million. They're
Yeah.
like, if they do well, they're like 6 to
Okay,
seven hundred
so
thousand
the Mega Man franchise has sold a total of 43 million units worldwide.
units.
There's a
Okay,
lot of Mega Man games.
there's a
You got
lot
what?
of
6
Mega Man
Battle Network games. You got Mega Man
Technically,
1 through 11.
technically, you have 10 Battle Network games.
Jesus.
And then you've got one spin-off that we got. Then you've got the Star Force games, which there are 7, even though there's only 3. Like,
Yeah, it's not everyone knows who Mega Man is for the most part, but 43 million throughout its entire franchise. And you know what? They still bring up Mega Man from time to time. They haven't made anything new since Mega Man 11, but
he is a merch
they
cash
they
cow. I can
still
vouch to
did it,
that. I am
right?
I am a supporter of the system. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I guess while we're just on the topic of bitching, calling people out. Yeah, y'all gotta stop getting mad at devs when games are bad. You
holy
know,
fuck.
just they're trying their best. They're probably not making enough money. Some of them aren't even getting paid at all. And then when they're supposed to be, they're actually just told, I'm sorry, you don't got a job anymore. And yeah, we all say that devs should be making more creative things and using their power, but unfortunately,
They
it's
don't
not that
have that
easy when you're
power.
just going to work, right?
If to put it in a different term, if you work at McDonald's and you are making the hamburgers, think of it as game dev. If you make the hamburgers or you are making a game, you didn't design that. You're being told how to do it by someone higher up. Same with the
Well,
game. You're developing something by someone who told you how what to do. Right?
well, and not only that, let's just say everyone buys your hamburgers because they love your hamburgers. But one day the company's like, we're going to start cheaping out on the meat. So their future product ends up sucking.
Yep. And
It's
you know
not the
what?
person who makes it.
Every corporation does this. If you look
Yep.
at Coke, and now it's Coke Classic, because they had New Coke and everybody hated it. Honeycomb, the cereal Honeycomb. Everyone, they had their original flavor, then they changed it to this weird maple shit, and it tasted like ass. And now it says classic taste on it.
Rude tactic. Very
Yes,
rude tactic. But these people are they're trying their hardest.
it's
You
their
know?
job. It's like someone who works at a McDonald's or a grocery store or paint
When that big
place or anything. Contractor. A contractor doesn't, or well, I guess some contractors do, but like you're looking more at an architect and the contractor builds what the architect designs, right? These don't get mad at devs. Devs are just doing their job. They have to do what they're told, and to say otherwise, I mean, it's a very competitive business. They aren't going to go outside their means to try and do something that they were told not to, just because you think they should have.
Yeah, it's funny. I recently got mad about an architect.
Oh,
I know. It's very strange, but I was recently at a music venue, and the upstairs men's bathroom was this hilarious mishmash of stuff where the sinks were. It was like a small, narrow hallway wide enough for one person and a row of three sinks. So if someone was standing at the end sink, you had to move them down the row to use another one.
oh, jeez. That's
Yeah,
no.
yeah, but that's entirely different situation. um,
That's yeah.
but these people are just trying their best, and also like don't get upset at devs when that game that you've been looking forward to gets canceled. You know,
Rest in
that's
peace,
not
Perfect
on
Dark.
them. The whole yeah,
I don't even know if I was excited for Perfect Dark, but now I'm very upset because it was canceled.
I was
And
excited for
I'm
the idea of Perfect Dark coming back.
yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, we've only had what, like 2, 3 Perfect Dark games?
Something like that. Yeah,
Because there
there's
was
the
one for
original. There
Xbox
was
360, there's the original N64, and then there was a Game Boy Color Advance.
That's right. There was. It rumbled.
Yes,
Yeah,
but like, it was neat to see, and
it's
now
gone
it's
now.
gone. And actually,
Gone.
reports are coming out saying that the demo that they showed off at their whenever it was last showed off, a lot of it was faked.
Ooh.
And it's like, oh no,
Oh, that is unfortunate.
right?
Speaking of fake, you know what? We don't have this problem with gaming so much these days because I think a lot of publishers have learned. I mean, we still have the big cinematic trailers that don't explain things, but a lot of them have seemed to picked up on the fact that like gameplay sells games nowadays,
Yes.
which is very nice. What was the name of that like AI counterpart that Xbox pitched? I think with the Kinect, wasn't it like Milo or something like that? It's just like it's just a real boy that there's a kid now you can interact with, and it just wasn't real. Never happened.
Oh, okay, yeah. The kid playing with like a tiger or something.
I don't know if it was a kid playing with a tiger. I think you might be mixing it up with Connectimals.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was just like, you'd say, "Oh, did you do your homework?" And it'd be like, "Oh, rats!" Like, not yet. And it's like, "All right, go do it. Play with this imaginary ball." Like,
I do not recall this. No.
it was just something that wasn't actually becoming a real thing. That they were like, "Yeah, this is what Connect will be able to do." It's crazy.
On that same kind of topic, like reveals happening way too soon,
Oof.
right? It's don't get me wrong, or you know what? Scratch that. I don't mind if something's revealed a little ahead of time, like a year or two, but keep us posted. Give us updates. Like
Yes,
have like a
please.
dev log or something that people can actually read, see what things are being done,
I think
right?
three of our biggest culprits for that in the modern day would obviously be Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Yep.
That has been cool. But that one I can give a little bit of a grain of salt because that was originally just a DLC that ended up becoming something far bigger than anyone could comprehend.
Sure, but it wasn't originally. Okay, sorry. Let me find out how to word this. When they first did a trailer, it was on the Nintendo showcase.
I believe
or
it was a
Direct?
Nintendo Direct, yeah.
Yeah, so they portrayed it for anyone who didn't know about the Kickstarter and the fact that it was going to be DLC. They portrayed it as a standalone game. Right? That was 2019.
Yeah.
At this moment, we still do not have Silk Song. Apparently, it's coming this year. I am not holding my breath, but like Team Cherry has been abnormally silent, or maybe it's actually pretty normal for them, that like people were actually concerned if they died.
No.
They had little to no like notification. Just it's not even like give me details about the game. It's just let me know that things are still going. Like a monthly update, just something.
So, another really bad one. Although this one is much more in sight, it seems. But Metroid Prime 4
Yep.
is and I know Metroid Prime 4 went through development hell, but
Yes.
at the same time we're making it, it's gonna be great. So we're almost done making it and we thought it sucked. So we're making it again. And
So
then
that was
nothing.
pretty neat. That the fact that they said, "Look, we are starting from scratch. We apologize," and to have the balls for a company like Nintendo to come out and be like, "Hey, it wasn't hitting our satisfaction. We scrapped it." To actually just come out and say that shit, that was phenomenal. But the
That
fact
is
that we had
impressive.
nothing.
There was another one that I had in mind. It still isn't out yet.
Half-Life 3.
Oh no, that one's a
Yeah.
joke at this point.
Yes.
Pragmata.
Okay, yeah.
No one knew, and I think Pragmata was originally revealed in 2020, and
Yes.
that whole chunk of time was a nightmare to begin with. So give it a bit of a grain of salt. And then it was like 3 years later that Pragmata showed up with another trailer, being like, "Yeah, sorry we haven't said nothing. It's still happening, but you still have no fucking clue what it is." And then it wasn't until this year, I believe, that it was just like, okay, so it is a thing.
Yes. But like that's what I mean. Like give us monthly updates. If you are willing to tease everyone with a trailer, if you want to keep that relevant and in people's minds, put out a monthly blog. Diablo 4 took a long time with nothing on it. And as much as Blizzard fumbles everything they touch now, one thing they did with Diablo 4 was they put out, I think it was actually every 3 months, every quarter, a dev blog with videos and some Q&A and whatnot about their approach at certain things and like telling us a bit about the game and giving us some insight. You don't have to go that far. Just be like, hey, we're doing a lot of animation this time around. Don't have to say what level designers are doing or anything, or story designers or voice actors. Just give us a little piece of behind the scenes, just to let us know that you guys are actually dedicated. Like, get these community managers doing something. No, don't just leave us in the damn dark. If you are willing to bring out a full-blown trailer for something, whether it's gameplay or in-engine footage or CGI, I don't give a shit. If you are willing to announce it to the public, give us some kind of update.
So you know what was
Keep us
wonderful
informed
for that? I don't know how hyped you were for it back in the day, but when Smash Brothers Brawl was announced and like the Smash Dojo, the dedicated website too.
Right.
I don't know if it was daily or like just a couple times a week, but they'd always give you a little something. It could be something as big as a character reveal, or it was something as small as like, here's an item, or this is a map, or something like that, right? But it was something.
So I wasn't actually hyped for it. Again, but like, just things like that. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be big announcements or anything. Just little tidbits, whether it's behind the scenes or anything like that. Just if you're willing to release a trailer, keep the hype going. If you think that if you actually have faith in your product,
it goes a long way.
It absolutely does. Like nowadays, we're seeing these game reveals, and it's like the entire Summer Game Fest. Like there wasn't much. I appreciate the Kegel's admiration for indie games and shouting them out. I can really respect that because indie games are not held, for the most part, to these big publishers that are looking to make every single dollar. This is where a lot of creativity is now, is in the indie games. There's a reason that we talk so much about indie games and our praise for them. They generally aren't held by these big ass corporations who just want to tick a box. But like Summer Game Fest, anything done by these big publishers, it's just like, this is the most generic thing ever. And it was either because they were putting a focus on graphics, so they don't have the budget to actually afford something unique, or everyone's playing it way too safe and copying each other. And going back to the whole like setting trends and following trends, remember when everything had to be open world?
Yep.
Open world games.
Pretty quick.
Open world games, I'm burnt out on as well. But they can be great if they are done right. And you know what? If your claim to fame is my map is X by X big, X by Y big, I guess. If it's not interesting, I do not want to walk along it.
Yeah,
if you cannot make it entertaining, if you cannot make things, and this is what I found with like Elden Ring, there's a lot of like uniqueness, and it's not like they had a lot of reused assets, but it was done in different ways. It's not just, if I went somewhere in Limgrave, I'm not finding the exact same thing elsewhere, right?
Hilariously, I think Sonic got it right, and I didn't play it, but it not be open world, but open zone, where like you have the open world feel, but it's a little bit more condensed. but also a
Rebirth.
lot more varied.
Final
Yeah,
Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I've
Oh
actually
my
played
God.
that. They
That game
they
had
did it pretty
too
good.
much stuff, but the open world was incredibly engaging.
And that was done more
So
of an open zone. You could travel back and forth, no problem. But
yeah,
it kind of contained things within its zone. And you know what? That was much nicer way of doing it. If it was an actual open world and you were walking all the way to Gungaga or whatever, it would be boring as shit.
I think it's the difference between I'm gonna go here now and I guess I'll go here now.
Yes. Or, like, what is the point in making... And I'm thinking back some to, like, Fallout. Okay, here's your objective. It is all the way over here. Yeah, you'll get waypoints, and they could be a lifesaver in open world games, but I honestly think if you make the journey to your destination as entertaining as the destination itself, you won't be finding people just warping all over the place. Make the
Yep.
journey actually exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to be able to actually, have a much more intimate time with your area. You're combing all those nooks and crannies. You actually
Yeah.
want to see what's behind every corner.
Don't make a
Uh,
giant world with nothing in between. And I know we've bashed on this game quite a bit. Skyrim, I found, was bad for that. Had this massive open world, and everyone talked about how big the open world is and how much things there are to do. And it's like, okay, but these things could be reduced to like a kilometer by a kilometer.
So
You have a map, you are traveling most of the way with a stamina bar, and you come across the odd thing that might happen.
that's
Bethesda
That's
in a
actually-
nutshell.
a good way to go into my next complaint. And I think I might make this my last complaint for the day. We're getting a little long here, and I'm sure we could come back to more complaints. But sometimes I just don't need that much content, man. Like, I would much rather, and I'm not saying only short games are good when I say that, but maybe don't give me that second visit to the sewer, or
That's a
don't
Final
make me
Fantasy remake.
50 more of that same thing just because you can. I don't need padding in my games anymore. I just want to get to the point, and the point being the fun.
And that's where I found Rebirth much better than Remake. Like, traversing the sewers, period, in Remake was tedious
Painful.
as shit.
Genuinely painful.
Going back to the sewers? Fuck you.
Yeah, and especially too when it's like, what are we going to do to make this seem more engaging? Well, we could make the enemies more of a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Because that's not making it harder. That's just making me not want to be here more, right?
And that was my issue with Portrait of Ruins.
Yep.
On the flip side, like what Rebirth did was really good, because you didn't generally go back to anywhere unless you chose to. I mean, you went back to the Golden Saucer, but it was much more done in there's content there if you want it, or if you just want to follow the story, you can.
Well, and it felt like when you were following the story, you were at least doing new things when you were following the story.
Yes.
But, so for example, I won't even get into what the events take place in the story because of spoilers, but you go to, let's say, the Gold Saucer the first time, and one full scenario plays out, and when you go back later, it's an entirely different whole, like, you're checking out different areas of it, and
Yes.
stuff like that. You're not just, doing it again, but it's just later in the story now.
Yes. And I mean, like, the set pieces that they made worthwhile. And I'm referring to one individual that I have in my head anyways. If you're going to make an open world game, don't make it fucking annoying to travel. Make it entertaining. And that doesn't mean put a couple bandits in the way or anything like that. Make it entertaining. Make it visually pleasing. I don't want 70-kilometer traversal through tree.
I don't want to spend time walking and talking on horses. I was really, really hyped for Red Dead 2, and I just have no desire to play it now. It still makes me sad.
Yes.
So, yeah. But at the same time, I will also very much acknowledge the difference between expansive content and padding.
Yes.
If there is more for me to do, if I enjoy it as much as I do, lovely. But at the same time, don't require it of me just to get more of my time.
And I think there's no better example aside from Remake versus Rebirth.
I think that is a very good way to
Which
put it.
is why I keep bringing it up.
They learned a lot from what people weren't fond of the first go round.
Yes.
So I will give Square Enix that credit sometimes. They do listen to their fans when they need to.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how this whole game keycard thing plays out.
Yeah,
But for example,
they aren't doing the physicals. They're doing key
like
cards.
games that make the most of their content, or go back to like Armored Core. Like I played through it 3 times. Does that sound like a pain in the ass? Yeah, but because each playthrough gave me something new to experience, it was actually worth my time. It wasn't just do it again slightly different. It was actually like a new chapter.
And you know what? When I platinum Sekiro, that was a bit excessive, but it was 7 playthroughs of New Game Plus 7. That's a little tedious. But the first 4 playthroughs, that's a lot, but I did a different ending each time because I needed those trophies anyways. And you're dealing with different bosses in different scenarios and all this kind of stuff, so it made it actually like entertaining. Nier does a good job of it too. Automata.
Nier does a fantastic job of it.
Yes.
And that's what I mean, like the difference between being like, just expansive and bloated, where you wanted more and there was more waiting for you.
Yes. Oh dear.
Do you got any one more vent to get out?
Do I have to pick one?
We could be here forever.
We could be, and that it makes it sound like we aren't that fond of gaming, and really
I hate video games and I hate playing video games. I just like buying
them. Honestly, I'm not even a cosmetics person, but unlockable cosmetics through microtransactions.
Oh my god!
This is going back to greed, and this is something like there were games back in the day growing up, and you know what, boomer mood or whatever you want to call it, where we had to work hard and do challenges to unlock different costumes and this kind of thing, right? Or again, cheat modes. Cheat modes were great just to fuck around with friends in multiplayer games, and it's not like aimbotting or anything like that. It's like, okay, big head mode, golden gun mode, and 007. Big head mode was actually in a lot of games.
Nice. Big head mode it's weird how that was like a thing that devs just had to try out, I suppose. I don't know. I'm not a game developer.
Unlocking the dolphin in Wave Race.
No. Yeah, well,
right?
And that's what I was going to say. Like, unlocks, and I know some games still have unlocks, but
not like they used to be.
Cosmetic
it's all...
unlocks. It was almost like that was the trophy system back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You get the outfit for beating the game, and next time you play it, if anyone sees them, like, oh, how'd you do that? Oh, I got it for beating the game. Like, that's cool.
And you know what? Like, just microtransactions mixed with the gaming community, because I see so many people, well, they aren't required and whatnot. And it's like, okay, if they aren't required and they change how your character look, why do so many games have character creators?
Yeah.
Because you care how your character looks. Back in the day, we used to unlock this shit. Now, you unlock it by pulling out your credit card. Yep. Get fucked.
Oh, actually. So, I think the most outraged I have ever been by a microtransaction, it was for Mega Man X on iPhone. Already pissed off about that. But, you could pay to have all of the armor upgrades.
Why?
Okay, see, that's where, like, paid DLC gets hilarious when you're paying for stuff that you can already get yourself in the game. You're just too lazy to. Like, I'm not even talking pay to win in, like, a competitive game. Like, this is a standalone, single-player experience, but you're too fucking lazy to play the actual game, and you're just like, I'm gonna just buy my way to getting through it. Like, you might as well just throw out your money.
I mean, there's another single-player game, what was it? Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor, where you could buy like characters and stuff, and it was very pay to win. And a lot of people again bring out the fact that okay, these are characters, you don't have to do it. It's like, no, you don't. But when they took out that store, they had to revamp the entire balancing of the game because these characters are no longer available. And what people don't seem to realize is, yes, you can earn some of these things in-game, but the game is not designed to be in your favor unless you pay.
Nope.
So, again, big-ass publishers, the AAA publishers of the world get fucked.
It makes it even worse when it's got kind of a gotcha aspect, but the whole Loot Crate thing is a whole different can of worms.
No, we honestly need a reset of the AAA industry. Get rid of the checkboxes, bring in more creativity, and stop sucking the passion out of this industry. This industry is the top entertainment industry in the world now. We are surpassing music and movies.
You know what's funny?
And you are still asking for more.
Well, okay, I don't know if they're taking more of a classical approach because they're kind of shitty in the sense of having day one purchasable DLC and stuff.
Pre-order bonuses.
Sega.
Yep.
Man, Sega loves selling you an incomplete game these days. But also, Sega's just knocking it out of the park with selling good games lately.
To an extent, yeah. Absolutely.
They are the most successful they've ever been. I mean, ever since they acquired Atlas, that whole Persona thing's just been nothing but a cash cow for them.
Yes.
Yakuza's doing stupid good, and people like Sonic again.
For the most part.
Kids know who Sonic is. It's all they wanted.
Okay. So, I'm going to end this going back to something that we did start with. And that was Borderlands 4.
Oh boy.
Okay. Because I actually got... Oh, unless I just lost it. Hopefully not. Shit. Here it is.
Did you just get an ad for it?
No. So the base game is, in Canada, $90. $89.99.
Okay. So that's like the going rate for a game these days, sadly.
Yep. So the Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition, which is $172.99 Canadian. You know what it gives you?
What's that?
So you get the full base game. Sweet. Pre-order bonus, a Gilded Glory Pack, which is 1 Vault Hunter skin, 1 weapon skin, and 1 Echo 4 drone skin. You get a Firehawk Fury weapon skin, a Bounty Pack bundle, which is 4 unique areas featuring new missions and unique bosses. They cut content out of the game unless you get the super pack. 4 vault cards with unique challenges and rewards, new gear and new weapons. Again, more content, more playable content, unless you buy these packs. That for a game that's not even out yet.
Yep.
New Vault Hunter cosmetics, new vehicle with new cosmetics. Ornate Order Pack, 4 Vault Hunter skins, 4 Vault Hunter heads, 4 Vault Hunter bodies. 2 new playable Vault Hunters. So new characters. Jeez. 2 new story packs featuring all new story and side missions. 2 new map regions. New gear and weapons, new Vault Hunter cosmetics, new Echo 4 cosmetics. So it sounds like it comes with 4 DLCs for a game that's not even out yet.
That is pretty wild.
$180.
And it's crazy that that's more than buying the game twice.
It is. It absolutely is.
Randy, how would have you done?
It's...
No. I know people say it all the time, but speak with your wallets, people. Don't let this stuff fly with this industry. They get away with too much stuff as it is.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, I just bought the Liza P DLC, and Liza P was great, and I loved it, and then they were like, we're making more, and then I paid it because I want the developers to have money for giving me more game, right? And this is just, we made more and kept it from you.
Yeah. That is a big difference. If they come out with DLC for a game later on, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
A year, 2 years later, it's believable because they got the engine, they got the mechanics and everything of the game. They got the base game clearly done. If they're making more content, it's not nearly as hard as getting everything from the foundation. They are probably going to add in some new mechanics because they have a team for it. And not everyone does everything in the team. There are certain people who are dedicated to animation programming. There's certain people dedicated to actually making the models move, right? So
yeah, it takes work.
Yes, absolutely. But to lock content like that right off the fucking hop.
Yeah, no, it's just sleazy. I don't need more reasons to dislike Borderlands, but it's happy to give them to me. Yeah. You know what I like, though? Enjoying video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Collector's editions suck.
Collector's editions do suck, yes.
Especially when they don't come with a game.
Oh, dear God. Yeah, solely digital. Just not even code in a box. They're just stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of stuff, but
Not that stuff.
don't sell it to me as the collector's edition of a game.
Yeah, don't tell me a collector's edition that doesn't actually include a physical copy of a game.
No.
Fuck.
Ugh.
I'm about done ranting. I gotta go be happy and play happy games.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a very happy game, which is finally dive into that Liza P DLC. Oh boy.
Or finish Cyber Shadow.
I plan on doing that as well in the not too distant future. But like, oh, I can't wait anymore. I think Cyber Shadow would be like an hour-long investment. This is a whole new journey.
Yes, that is fair.
Yeah.
With that said, I think that is it for this episode.
Yeah, tell us all the things that you hate about games, why you think gaming is stupid, why you think we're stupid.
That's going to be a big list.
Leave us a comment somewhere.
Yes, you can find us on Twitter or Blue Sky. Just find Optional Boss PC or at Optional Boss PC or whatever you do on those social media sites. Maybe we'll actually post something someday. With that said, we'll catch you next time when we talk about who knows. Bye.
Bye!